want to provide a quick election update. Now, tomorrow will mark 1 month since Election Day, and believe it or not, there was still one race that remained uncalled until yesterday, the one for California's 13th Congressional District. Now, here with a quick update on where things stand is Matt Carpenter, Director of FRC Action. Matt, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, so it took a month, but we have finally gotten all of the results. Give us the results of California's 13th Congressional District.
Yeah, so Tony, election season is over. I don't know if a little extra turkey slowed down the vote there at the end in California, but we have the results for California's 13th Congressional District. As you pointed out, this is the last race from election night that we were trying to get results on. And Democrat Adam Gray prevailed over Republican incumbent John Duart in that race by, almost a breathtaking only 187 votes. Tony, you and I both have seen some close races over the years. I think this beats the record from last election when Lauren Boebert won by just over 200 votes. So races seem to be getting closer and closer nowadays.
Well, that's amazing. Less than 200 votes. I mean, that's the size of, that's smaller than the average church size, especially in California. They got these big churches. But a church, think about that for just a moment. One church, couple families could actually make the difference in the outcome of one of these congressional races.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I know there's a lot of great folks on the ground in California who were working in churches, taking advantage of some of the ballot chasing laws there in California and getting the word out and educating voters. And it's just more evidence that all that work is needed. There's more of it that needs to be done as we look to the 2026 midterms already. It's election season. It never ends, Tony.
All right, Matt. So the last race is decided, California's 13th. What does that leave in terms of the balance in the U.S. House of Representatives now that these races have all been called?
So right now there's 220 Republicans for the 119th Congress to 215 Democrats. That's just a 2-seat majority for Speaker Johnson. With a 435-member body, you need 218 for a majority. So any additional drop-offs at this point is going to be problematic. It's going to make the operations of the House that much more difficult. And as we already know, Matt Gaetz has resigned from Congress, and we'll have a special election to fill his seat. We also know Elise Stefanik, a New York Republican, is going to go on to be potentially the UN ambassador under the Trump administration. And then obviously Michael Walz in Florida's 6th Congressional District was tapped for National Security Advisor in the Trump administration. We'll have some special elections in the spring. In Florida specifically, go ahead.
Where does that leave them then beginning in January if we have those 3 members that won't be there?
They'll be down to 218 members, Tony, and that's the exact number you need for a majority. So, I mean, you can't have a sick day. You can't have a member miss their flight. Things get really hairy at that point. So, we'll see how these special elections pan out. All 3 Republicans who will be leaving Congress are running in safe districts, or they ran, I should say, in safe districts. And you got to figure you'll probably have a Republican win those special elections, but you still have to run an election to see how that pans out. In Florida, we know January 28th is going to kick off a special primary here in Florida. And then April 1st, we'll have the results of those special elections in Florida. We have yet to get word on what's going to happen in New York, the timing there. But I think it's safe to say, it'll be a temporary 218-member conference for the House Republicans. And probably around May or June, I anticipate they'll get back up to 220, but we'll see.
Well, here's a prediction for you, Matt. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of money spent in those 3 special elections. I think you can count on that. Matt Carpenter, thanks so much for taking time to give us an update today.
Thanks, Tony.